The PWBA returns to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the 11th consecutive season. Welcome inside Princess Lanes for the finals of the Three Rivers Open. Competition begins tonight with a breakthrough game featuring Rachel Perez, defending champ Michelle Feldman, and Kendra Gaines. The athlete with the highest score will break through and enter the head-to-head competition against Marianne Dirupo in the semifinal match. And the winner there will advance to the championship match and take on 25-time titleist Leanne Barrette. Hello everyone, I'm Jan Schmidt. Thanks for tuning in for the second telecast of the PWBA Fall Series. 3 of our finalists tonight have been regulars this season, combining for 19 TV appearances and 5 titles thus far. That's Barrett, Gaines, and Feldman. Now another regular is at my side this evening. She's the only woman to repeat as champion here at Princess Lanes in 10 years, Carolyn Dorn-Ballard. Carolyn, let's talk about the other 2 finalists. Marianne Dirupo's in her 3rd straight telecast. That's quite a turnaround from the last few years.
Making the show at the Players' Championship really reinforced for Marianne that the changes she was making in her game were the correct ones. Not only that, it helped take her confidence to another level, helped get those little voices of self-doubt that she had in her head away from there, and also got her on the roll to where she is today. She's here tonight, and she is ready for another victory.
Okay, well, how about Rachel Perez? For those of you at home who say, who is that? Well, it's okay. It's only her 2nd TV appearance. Her first came in 1997. And Carolyn, for those who like to root for the underdog, their pick has to be Rachel Perez.
It is so hard to believe that Rachel Perez has not made more telecasts in her 8-year career. She's talented and dedicated, and this week she was consistent from day one. What holds Rachel back? You know what it is? She overanalyzes. She loves to teach bowling. So she was finding herself while she was teaching people, she was analyzing herself. While she's bowling, she's analyzing the people she's teaching. Way too much thinking. She went home over the break, looked at some videotapes of herself, went and worked on the cat's lane, and you know what she decided? I'm going to focus on my game. Here she is tonight. She is ready and has her bowling career on the right path.
Sure is on the right path, and so far she's on about the same path as the rest of the finalists tonight. Kendra Gaines in the lead by 4 pins over Rachel Perez. Michelle Feldman trailing by 7 pins. Carolyn, they've been all over the place, but clean. Everybody clean so far.
Everybody clean. I noticed Michelle just went to a different ball. She was using something that went down the lane a little bit further. Wasn't getting the reaction she wanted. She changed to a ball with a little more surface and a little more roll. That was the result.
Kendra Gaines, now you saw 2 titles for her, the second one coming this year in the doubles tournament with Melissa Brownie, a college athlete, and looks like we tuned in at the right time because they're all lining it up now and starting to strike.
Kendra actually was the one that came out with the ball with the most surface and looked like she had the best reaction in the beginning.
And Rachel taking a pause there, maybe overanalyzing.
Maybe.
A little left. She doesn't appear to be too nervous. She said it's been getting better. She finished 8th and 7th the last 2 events in the summer, so it really has helped. And in fairness, she doesn't bowl all the events. She misses a lot coaching.
Right, and also she said, you know, with the position round last night, she was very comfortable. She said she learned from her past experiences. She bowled a great game, and that's why she's here tonight.
214 average this week for Michelle Feldman.
I think Michelle made the right ball choice. She made it. Sorry about that there. Lost my microphone for a minute. She made the change and has a great result.
Rachel covering her spares. So, Carolyn, the scores this week, some pairs low, some pairs high. A lot of changeover in lead and movement.
I think the majority of women felt that pair to pair, it was very tough to strike, plain and simply. To get 10, you could go to a pair and shoot a great 180 game, never miss the pocket. Next pair, shoot 260. Just had to hang in there and be patient.
So Feldman now in the lead by 3 pins because of that double she just threw, and Gaines leaving another 4 pin. That's been the pin of her choice to leave, apparently, a 4 pin, and Rachel Perez up quickly now in the 7th frame.
Oh, tripping that 4 pin. Needed to see a few of those this week to get to the telecast. She's made some very good shots for not being on TV for quite some time. She really has come out pretty strong.
Spirit up for Kendra Gaines. So right now, Feldman still in the lead by 3 over Gaines and by 8 over Perez. Now, Michelle Feldman won the last title, what we classify as a title, back in Louisville in the summer. She also won the Champions Challenge, the Sport Bowling Champions Challenge.
And then she went on to win a regional in, I believe, I wanted to say the Baltimore area, but I don't know if it was in Baltimore. But she went to bowl a regional a couple of weeks later and boom, won that.
Yeah.
I mean, she was definitely on a roll there for a few weeks, and here she is again.
Kendra now in the 8th, needing to set one up.
We're bowling on synthetic lane surface. 43 feet was the length this week. Offense oil, and that has a tendency to break down in the front part of the lane in the middle, and that's what really caused with the 43 feet in length and the lane surface and the offense. It really forced the ladies to play deep. We had to move in. Started out a little tighter the first day. People used surface, and as the week went on, you just had to get deeper and deeper and deeper.
It's a tough break for Rachel Perez. Hit the nose and didn't break it up. And tough break for Michelle Feldman, leaving a 9-pin. Rachel now has a 6-7-10. She'll change balls and
a 220 average on the TV pair.
So she takes the wood wisely, and that's the first open frame of this match for any of the 3 in the breakthrough game. Don't forget, only one will advance out of these 3. Match play this week, Kendra Gaines got the best of Michelle Feldman. I know you were talking about beating her too. You know, Michelle's such a powerful player that everyone, when they get deep inside and beat her, it's something to brag about.
I did, and she was proud of me. I was playing 5th arrow, and I shot 260 again, and I said, who said the straight girls can't play? She started to giggle. She liked it off her hand. She got it right. Ball just jerked right at the end. 3-6-10.
Setup shot for Rachel Perez in the 9th. Really needed to strike there, and a 10-pin not going down. I know the audience was kind of trying to encourage her. Rachel, do you think she feels intimidated at all or not?
I don't think she feels intimidated at all. I think she's very happy with her performance, how she got here, the changes she's made, especially with her mental focus. She's worked with Dr. Dean Hennitz. Things are really coming around for her. I think she's going to take this as a positive and go on to next week.
So she was the Southwest Region Player of the Year. So right now, Michelle Feldman in the lead by 12 over Gaines, and Perez trailing by 29. Feldman taking a little time, stepping up.
Another great shot by Michelle. I'll tell you one thing about Michelle. The more the lanes hooked during the week, all Michelle had to do was move deeper and throw it harder. She can really overpower the lane, and her speed was one of her assets this week. And that's why she's here this week. Besides even being able to overpower the lane, speed was so critical.
Kendra Cameron, excuse me, now Gaines. Cameron's a long time ago. Ranked 5th now.
That's okay. We want to say hi to Sue Cameron, who's her mom.
I was looking at that. That's where that came from, because we
that's right.
Promised her we'd say hello.
Ooh, got that one a little wide. No recovery, 2-4-5. And that's what happened this week. If you got it a little too far right with a lot of speed, you could throw it right through your break point. That was the result. Slides, 2-4-5. And you would think with all the hand that Michelle has, you're saying, well, why didn't it recover?
Kendra Gaines really needing to strike to force Michelle Feldman to get any of these pins.
Made a great shot.
Final score of 2-12 for Michelle Feldman.
The tidbit about Kendra, I think she's very happy with her performance here. Yes, this week, because she broke her foot here last year.
She did, and she gets a patch for that because it's a Dutch 200. She spared every other frame and struck every other frame.
Rachel, very happy with her week. She has nothing to be ashamed of. She bowled a great game, made some really good shots. She'd like to thank her sponsors, Ed and Nancy Herndon, great people from Texas.
And hello to her family as well. So Michelle Feldman is the winner of the breakthrough game with a score of 2-12. She'll advance to head-to-head competition against Marianne Dirupo in the semifinal match when we return. Championship round finals of the Three Rivers Open are being brought to you by the Women's International Bowling Congress, striving for 87 years to identify and fulfill the needs of women bowlers. By Travelodge Hotels, proud to be the official lodging sponsor of the Professional Women's Bowling Association. And by PWBA.com, relaunched to bring you more advanced and accessible news and information. Final score of the breakthrough game, Michelle Feldman 212 to Gaines' 200 and Perez's 179. And that means it is Michelle Feldman that breaks through to the semifinal match. She'll take on Marianne Dirupo. Crossing over, and they had a little bit of a delay there while we were getting back to the broadcast, leaving a 6-pin.
Might be just a little tight, needs to get back into her rhythm. Career versus each other. Michelle hasn't beaten Marianne. 0 for 2.
Career TV.
Interesting. Career
right.
TV.
That is interesting. However, you know, if you look at overall match play over the course of the week, not counting TV, Feldman's edges out Dirupo 5-3. So
it's a different story on TV.
It
different
is.
Story in match play.
It's TV that counts.
That's right. Nerves, everything else sets in.
So Marianne Dirupo, as you mentioned, after winning that title, the major, the Miller High Life Players Championship. The monkey now off her back. It had been a long drought since 1998 prior to that win.
Oh, blows the 7-pin off the deck.
Her third consecutive shell for the first time in her career.
Gets the ball a little right, barely hits the head pin. Double taps on the 7-pin to get it off the deck. Ladies have said the right lane is a little bit tighter in the middle part of the lane and even down the lane. Why I said Kendra was using a lot of surface. Michelle changed to a ball with a little more surface, a little more roll. We'll see what Marianne does. Feldman.
Marianne chose to make Michelle Feldman start. I think it's because of the lane choice, so Marianne could finish on the left lane, or?
I would think because while they were talking on the break, everybody was saying they liked the left lane. Kendra came by after she left the TV pair and said, I didn't really like that right lane. So I would think that would definitely be her strategy.
Saw that Marianne Dirupo is in the lead by 10 over Michelle Feldman. That was on our mini scoreboard presented by Travelodge Hotels.
6th TV appearance for Michelle Feldman this year. Most she's had in a year is 12. And she's on a pretty good pace at the rate she's going. She could meet that this year.
She could.
Goes a little high, leaves a 4-7. Could see a little bit of a transition. Usually around the second match, we always see the lanes change a little bit. Left lane could start. Well, seems like it might be hooking a little bit more in the middle part of the lane, causing it to snap a little bit on the back. Changes to a ball that goes straighter and shoots it spare.
And she struggled on the left lane actually early in the last match, going high and then light and then missing the head pins.
Then she changed balls on that right lane, and then from then on had it in the pocket.
Marianne now working on 2 strikes, and let's say it now. Michelle Feldman's family, Gary and Linda Feldman, and her uncle Bud, who is Bud Harvard, have put up a $10,000 offer for anyone who shoots a 300 on television.
Yes.
So we want to thank them, and it's nice that the bonus is back out there for the ladies. It's $10,000 per show, so if 2 of them would possibly shoot it in one show, they would have to split it. But
that's okay. I think somebody will take $5,000.
I'm sure.
Ball skidding a little bit further down the lane than the first shot. Doesn't quite recover. Marianne leaves a 2-pin. Changes balls. Ball gets down the lane. Shoot right at it.
There's a look at Uncle Bud on the left, Barry Feldman on the right. Michelle Feldman's grandfather, Linda Feldman, her grandmother, is in the background. She doesn't like to sit on the show.
Actually, she's right here over my left-hand shoulder, right here. But she's giving me the evil eye. We better not get her on TV, but she is right here watching. She never usually sits on the show, and honestly, it might be an omen because Michelle does win quite often when she's standing there in the back.
That's true. Marianne Dirupo has her mother here, Rosemary, and always says she loves to bowl good in front of her, but really hates to disappoint her if she doesn't bowl well.
Right. Marianne liking the left lane, another good shot, gets all 10.
Marianne Dirupo quickly was also the bowler of the month for July by the Bowling Writers Association of America. So congratulations to her. Ooh, we talked about all the wins.
Tripping that 4-pin, trying to make that ball recover on that right lane, gets a break.
Talked about all the wins Michelle has had recently, and she's owned Louisville, winning the last 2 televised events there. The Louisville Open, defeating Kim Terrell in the championship match, 255 to 180, and again defeating Kim in the Sport Bowling Champions Challenge, 182 to 167. And right now in the semifinal match here of the Three Rivers Open, and she trails by 9.
Ooh. A little high, almost leaves the 4-9, gets the 4 out, leaves the 9, change balls, easy spare.
She was looking to take the lead on that shot if she would have struck. She was working on a strike.
Ever since Michelle made the ball change, she looks like she's got a pretty good reaction, and Marianne came out with some good shots. She looks like she's got a reaction. We should have a nice close match.
We'll be right back with the rest of the semifinal match through 4.5 frames. Michelle Feldman trails by 9. Marianne Dirupo in the lead. We'll be right back.
Does a bear...
Time Real Women, coming soon to digital cable from Time Warner.
Michelle Feldman now trailing by just 4 pins in the 6th frame while we were away, and that will change that. But Marianne Dirupo struck for a double with a nosedive and then split, leaving a 4-7-10. And now Michelle Feldman with a big split.
Looks like she gets it far enough right, hit up on it just a little bit. That's the result, and she knew it because she lifted up at the foul line as soon as she let it go. One thing Michelle's really been trying to work on this year is not hitting up on a ball so much, being a little smoother into the lane. She hits up onto it, ball jerks even harder on the back, and that's not what you want.
So right now, as they're getting the score up there, Dirupo in the lead, Feldman trailing by 18 pins, both with a split in the 6th frame.
Michelle said one thing that was going to keep her going this year, especially she's in the race for Bowler of the Year, is her mental focus. Now when she bowls a bad game, she doesn't really go on and on about it and quit and say, oh, forget it, I can't come back. She just blows it off, goes to the next pair, and makes up for it.
Okay, did you watch her walking back? She's looking at her equipment on the side, I think, trying to say, okay, what's going on? Do I need to try something else?
Might be time for a ball change. Like I said this week, the lanes just started to hook more and more every day. You had to move deeper. Ball might be rolling up too much for her, hooking too much on the back.
Now, Carolyn, another event went on this week, the Brunswick Shootout, during the week, and I heard that was a lot of fun. What was the format on that?
It was great. After we got done bowling on Tuesday, we bowled, everyone had one shot. You had to throw a ball, you had to get 9 for 2 rounds to stay in. After that, you had to strike. It was great. And Lisa Bishop wound up winning $1,500, and Brenda Norman came in second by leaving a stone 8-pin.
Oh,
for $600.
That'll be hard to take. Marianne hitting the nose now, but breaking up the split this time, leaving the 6-10.
Lane's definitely going through a transition. Marianne seemed like she liked that shot, got it right, hooked on the end. Might be time to just move a little bit further left. That's all the girls kept doing all week. We all just kept saying, gotta get deeper, gotta get deeper. She'll
change balls here to shoot the spare, and she's had a lot of continued success these last few weeks, and she talked about that a little bit earlier.
What do you contribute to success to?
Well, this week I have to thank Kelly Kulik in the beginning of the week. We've practiced together several times, and in practice session she says to me after an hour, "Are you working on something?" And I said, "Yeah, throwing the ball bad right now." So she pointed something out in my timing, which really helped me this week. But overall, the people I really need to thank would be track, because their equipment has really benefited my game on the sport condition and the sport patterns, as well as Tommy and Tita Semez, who have really made an holistic asset in my game with changing the grip in my pitches. But overall, the hard work and the dedication and all the people that surround me have really put me here today.
And she does have a lot of fan support, Marianne. She works very hard to respond to all the fans who write to her, and that's a job in and of itself.
Yes, it is. She does have a great fan base, and she does. She writes letters. She writes thank you notes. She answers her emails on her website. I mean, she really is a true professional.
And for those at home, though, if you're writing, understand that it does take a period of time to get back to
Right,
people,
exactly. It might take a few days.
You're traveling and difficult to respond sometimes.
Right, a little hard to get online sometimes. But great shot on the left lane, made the adjustment, left the 10-pin.
So Michelle Feldman now trailing by 17 as she steps up in the 8th frame.
Michelle just changed balls, went over to her bag, went to a ball, gets down the lane a little bit further than one she was using. Not quite as aggressive on the back. Let's see what she does. High flush. She knew exactly what it was going to do. I trust Michelle.
Well, Marianne thanked Kelly Kulik. Kelly came in 6th, just back from coaching in Australia. Anne-Marie Dugan, 6th place last week, 7th place this week, or the last event. And Tammy Turner, hey, high game of the tournament, 287.
11th, Carol Giannotti Block, back from knee surgery, and also a defending champ here. And Kim Adler, selling her little patch on eBay there and making some notoriety for the PWBA.
And it worked on lane 38, but not on 37.
Lane 37 seems like it's breaking down a little bit quicker. Did not look like a bad shot. Didn't quite get it as far right as she had been. Gets a break and leaves the 4-7. But from the very beginning, it seemed like the left lane was breaking down quicker than the right lane.
Yeah, she looks a little confused. There's that title at Major that Marianne Dirupo won earlier this season.
I believe that's the second time she's won the Players' Championship, too.
She won this event for her very first title.
Oh, yes.
In 1993.
Yes, she did.
So she has a chance to repeat as a champion here to tie you, Carolyn,
Yes.
Pittsburgh.
Good shot by Marianne. She liked that when she let go. Leaves the 10-pin, made the adjustment on that lane. Starts the ball even deeper, gets it further right than the last shot. Just doesn't quite turn the corner as hard. Leaves the 10-pin. Marianne, you may notice Marianne's using a wrist device. She said she put that on last night. She realized she was giving up the way she was entering the heads of the lane. Her wrist was a little weak. She put it on to firm up her wrist a little more, get a little more consistent through the heads in the middle part of the lane, and it really worked.
There's the past princesses, the winners here. Michelle Feldman, of course, defending champion. And Carolyn, you have you're listed a couple times on there, as well as your sister, Kathy Dorn Lizzie.
Sandra Jo Shirey just had a little baby girl. Was glad to hear that. Marianne Dirupo has a chance to regain another title here. And Carol Norman, WIBC inductee and a fantastic coach, now travels the country giving lessons.
Brother Wendy McPherson also has won this event. Kim Straub, who no longer bowls, has a child at home. Marianne Dirupo now in the 10th frame. She's up by 16 pins. She'll need a mark.
Great shot by Marianne. She said she found them very similar this week to Collierville, where she won. So she was able to use the same ball she used in Collierville and get the same feel. Great shot by Marianne. Looks like she threw that one a little bit harder, increased her ball speed. Great reaction.
Michelle Feldman shaking her head no, and that's because she knows what that strike meant. And she will probably not advance. But Michelle Feldman's looking for a bowler of the year. She feels she has a real shot at it, as she does right now. First in the rankings, first in earnings,
Absolutely.
second in average.
Like I said, and she'll take this as a positive. She said, whether I win or not, I need to focus on that I did really well that week. I need to go on to the next week, not ponder on the bad, be patient, and hopefully it'll all come around.
Marianne Dirupo getting a big break earlier in this match on a shot just like that. So Marianne Dirupo will move on. But first, when we return, a look at some future bowling stars in this week's WIBC Extra Frames. The 5th annual Young American Bowling Alliance's 2002 USA Junior Gold National Bowling Championships came to a close July 12th at Cypress Lanes in Winter Haven, Florida. The event featured the best 987 youth bowlers from across North America and military zones from around the world to compete for over $50,000 in scholarships. Each participant advanced to the National Bowling Championships through local qualifying tournaments and leagues held throughout North America. At the conclusion of the televised finals, Sean Rash of Anchorage, Alaska, and Olivia Sandham of Boulder, Colorado were crowned the National Youth Amateur Champions. The second-seeded Rash, a 19-year-old Junior Team USA and Team USA member, defeated defending junior gold champion and top seed Mike Romaklis of Florissant, Missouri, 191 to 156 in the boys' championship match. Sandham, an 18-year-old Junior Team USA member and the tournament's top seed, downed current Team USA member Crystal Scott of Painesville, Ohio, 216 to 171 in the girls' championship match. Rash, Romaklis, Sandham, and Scott joined 12 other tournament finalists as members of the 2003 Junior Team USA. Following the conclusion of that event, YABA hosted an additional 200 athletes competing in the 2002 Coca-Cola Youth Bowling Championships, also held at Cypress Lanes in Winter Haven. The nearly 200 athletes came from all 50 United States, U.S. military zones around the world, Puerto Rico, and each of the Canadian provinces to compete for $20,000 in scholarships. 4 would emerge victorious. Robert Dixon, Amanda Farmer, Jeremy Rodkey, and Katie Turin all earned the title of 2002 Coca-Cola Youth Champion in their respective divisions. For more information on these exciting events, visit the YABA section of bowl.com. And we initiated WIBC Director Joyce Brockling this week. It was her first assignment for WIBC, and as I understand it, she had a great time. I spoke with her last night. We thank them for all their support. Final score of the semifinal match, Marianne Dirupo 202 to Feldman's 185. Coming up next, Marianne Dirupo takes on Leanne Boomer Barrette in the championship match. There's a look at the trophy they'll be vying for here at the Three Rivers Open. It'll be Marianne Dirupo and Leanne Barrette hoping to take home that trophy. And Marianne Dirupo will be first up. Leanne Barrette had the choice and said, Marianne, go ahead.
Absolutely. Wants her to end on that other lane. Career versus Leanne on TV. 2-0 against Leanne on TV also. Could be an omen.
Marianne didn't lose to any of the finals tonight on TV, so in her career. So she knows what she's doing out here. Coming up light with the bucket.
Could have been a little anxious. Didn't want to throw it slow. It seems like she put a little more speed on that. Shot it right through the break point, left the bucket. Very common leave this week.
Now she's shooting it with her spare ball, Carolyn. What do you think the percentage?
I don't know what the percentages are. I'd say some of the girls use their spare ball. Some of them use their strike. I use my strike ball. When I leave anything with, double wood, I feel like my percentages go up with my strike ball. I can hook into it. But as she proved me wrong right there, I mean, she made it with her spare ball.
I think,
I think it's a personal preference.
Exactly. Plus maybe the condition you're shooting on as well.
Absolutely.
First look at Leanne Barrette tonight, 35 years old, 16 years on tour, and 25 titles. She's tied for the 3rd place in all-time titles for PWBA, and she's trying to get it on her own with a 26th victory here.
Great come-out shot from Leanne. She's using a pearlized ball, gets down lane a little further, lays off the back, doesn't really jerk very hard on the back end. She used that ball in her night blocks, and she said that was one of her strengths this week. Night blocks, she can get deeper, get the ball right.
She covers it up, so if you want other news, I'll tell you where to go. PWBA.com underwent a facelift over the summer and recently unveiled its new look. The beauty of the new site runs more than skin deep. It's your information source for PWBA, including schedules, entries, players' bios, photos, and standings. Plus, it displays the complete line of new PWBA logoed merchandise and live scoring. All this in a user-friendly format, so make sure you go and check it out. That's PWBA.com. Check out our sponsors page as well and help support the sponsors that support the PWBA. Leanne Barrette with a strike in the 2nd frame.
Leanne starting the ball in deeper. Not getting as far right as she had been at night, but she's got a little hold with that ball, blows the rack.
Not watching, and Marianne Dirupo now. Marianne struggled that last morning. She liked the nighttime better, but as you said, she put on that Robbie's, and it really seemed to help her.
She said it really helped keep her wrist in the right position where she needed to be to get the ball down the lane, to allow her to play the lane the way she wanted to angle it into the pocket. I mean, that's just what she wanted. She felt like her wrist was really getting a little lazy at doing it, and this gave her that little more support. She kept the ball the way she wanted to angle it through the heads, and that was very important to her this week. As the lanes broke down, she had to keep getting left, yet you still had to keep your angles going the right way.
And it was one less thing for her to worry about. Didn't have to worry about her wrist breaking. We saw some of the other finishers earlier. Let's take a look at the rest. Shanna Ray, she's cashed in every event this year. And Jennifer Swanson, she aggravated a foot injury. She may have to take off a few weeks.
Marcia Kamrowski becoming a consistent casher, one of our future stars out here. And Jackie Schneider making her 2nd top 24. We're glad to see her make the finals.
Michelle Arrington came back out. She was the alternate. We're glad to see her back out here. Marianne Dirupo, max score possible, 277. Of course, Leanne Barrette could still shoot 290.
Marianne changed balls on that shot. Seems like it rolled and recovered a little bit harder. Left the 610. Moved a little bit deeper, way deeper than she was playing that lane. Got it right. Snaps through the nose. That's what she's looking for. The last few shots looks like she either threw it a little bit hard and it wouldn't recover, and then when she softened up, it went through the nose. That's you know, you're in the wrong ball. You got to make a move.
And it's sometimes hard to make a move so quickly on television. Ooh, an error there.
43 feet. The oil went, and on the outsides, it was a little bit heavier. Saw this a lot this week. Just scoots right by the 6. Picks the 10.
You can see the disappointment in her face, but she regrouped. She's been working on her patience.
Great shot by Leanne. I'll tell you, Leanne has just been on fire this year. I mean, from the very first tournament, she made some changes in her game, worked with her coach, Rod Ross, and I mean, just everything's coming together. Her hip feels good. Sure, it gets a little stiff every now and then. So does her knee. But she's been walking well out onto her, keeping it stretched. I mean, really, this is the Leanne for 90-91 when she's bowler of the year. I mean, it was just a consistent week-to-week thing with Leanne. She was always in the hunt.
Well, you can see that 95 television appearances she had there in her 16 years. And she is striking right now. That's 3 in a row for Leanne Barrette. Marianne Dirupo was talking to us last night, Carolyn, about how much better her patience is now than it was when she came out on tour or even over the last few years, and that's a key.
I was just going to say, being in this position right now, been there. There's a lot of things going through your mind right now. You're saying, okay, she's lined up. I got to get it together. But you know what? I got to be patient. I got to take one shot at a time and make the best shots I can.
Ooh, unfortunate to kick the 7-pin out, leaving the 3-6-10.
She did move deeper. Doesn't seem like she's quite getting it as far right as she was the other ball she was using, and this ball seems to be flipping a little bit harder. She could probably make the move and get this ball just a little bit further right and see if that would help her with the adjustment.
Now she just slid by the 6-10. She's on the other lane. She'll have to be cautious. Cover all 3 pins with the ball. And sliding by the 3-pin.
Well, you know, that could be a few things. Let me tell you, with the oiling pattern, we said there's a little more oil on the outside of the lane. The ball had a tendency to scoot past the spares. You had to make sure you threw right at it. No chance for recovery. Picks the 6-10 right off. Also, could just be a mental error. You know, she's in a championship match again. Third consecutive show. She's on a roll, putting a little pressure on herself. I mean, we all do it. And you just have to, you know, get up on your next shot and say, hey, start over. Great shot.
Yeah,
she got that one a little bit further right, got a little ball speed on it. Ring 10. Great shot. Still as deep as she was, but see how the projection is a little bit further right. Great shot.
So once again, she'll try to cover the spare. And she covers it up. PWBA athletes have been getting an awful lot of press lately in the news, on talk shows, USA Today, and there's a look at the millionaires on tour, 3 of them. That was just in USA Today, and Leanne Barrette attempting to become number 4. She needs $15,682 to get there this year, and first place this week, $9,000. Second, $4,800.
Well, on her way.
She's
I could
closing
see in 2 tournaments here. Leanne could be our next millionaire. And with 7 tournaments to go, I'm going to really go out on a limb on this one. And I'm going to say that I bet you in the next 7 shows, Leanne will make one of them, at least one.
Well, you are lucky you can do that. You're light enough for limb won't break. No, you can go out there.
No, since I said that, when she does, I'm going to ask her to take me out to dinner. Leanne's last 7 tournaments, look at this.
On a roll,
10th, 2nd, 5th, first, 3rd, and possibly first again. That's pretty awesome.
And that reverse order that was. It shows first, qualified first for this week.
Yes, I'm sorry.
If you can hear sirens, they are really going on. There's a volunteer fire department nearby.
We're happy to say that they're not coming here, thank goodness. Gets this ball a little left to target, goes high, leaves the 3-10. One thing with Leanne being a past bowler of the year in 1990 and 91, I asked her, I said, are you thinking about it this year? You know, you're bowling great. She goes, I don't think about it at all. I take 1 week at a time.
Oh, and sliding by the 3-10. So Leanne Barrette through 5.5 frames has a big lead way out in front. We'll be back in a moment to see if she is named the princess this year.
Broadband, everything you want instantly.
We're back at the Three Rivers Open in the middle of the championship match. Marianne Dirupo will be stepping up in the 7th, trailing by 35 pins. Leanne Barrette missed the 3-10, but still up by 35. I'm Jan Schmidt along with Carolyn Doran-Ballard. We're at Princess Lanes in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Marianne has cashed in 12 of the 13 events this season. And if we date back over the last few years, she's cashed pretty consistently as well, but Leanne Barrette tops on the list out of the 5 tonight at 90 0.7% cashes.
Yeah, I mean, Marianne's always been a consistent player, just, you know, from the day one. And Leanne, by far, you don't, hey, listen, 25 titles, let's face it, you know, you don't get there unless you're consistent. So, you know, the women out here are top performers, top athletes. You know, if you're in the area, you got to remember, you got to come out and see these women perform, because we really are the best kept secret.
That is true, and it's so interesting. You don't see, when you look out here and see them bowl a few games, but 42 games throughout the week is huge, and 42 games a week.
You average leaders
Times 12 to come up with these averages.
I mean, Leanne, 217. Michelle Feldman, 217. Kendra Gaines. I mean, you don't average 217 just getting lucky. I mean, you bowl across different lanes, different conditions every week. I mean, it's great to see. And you also, you know, when you watch the TV, you say, you watch someone like Leanne who can really hook the ball. And you say, is that all she can do? But if you were to come watch her in a tournament, you'd see she can play the whole lane.
Yes, she can.
It's amazing.
Those averages compiled by Ebonite Tournament Coordinator, our official tournament software of the PWBA. And, whoa.
I think she
had some problem there.
I think she stuck a little bit on that shot, pulled out of it a little bit, and was a little afraid it might hook by.
It actually looked like it backed up a bit.
Yeah. Hit that oil spot, as we've seen going across the lane.
Well, she leads now by 36, and this is our 11th year here. The Pittsburgh Women's Bowling Association, they've been here all week doing a great job. We have to thank them once again for the volunteer work of the local women's bowling associations.
Leanne fourth on the all-time money leading list. Good comeback shot. Okay, it's getting down to crunch time. We're entering the 8th frame here. Putting a little pressure on, making some good shots, making some bad shots. Have to see who comes through. Marianne has to put a couple together here to get back in the swing of the game.
Okay, so Marianne in the 8th, and you're right, Carolyn, she needs to start striking. She trails by 36 pins. Really has to set one up here.
Made a good shot, left the 4-pin.
She just hasn't been able to carry as well as some of the games.
She's moved deeper than she was playing. She got that ball further right. Seems like she's throwing it a little bit harder, but left the 4-pin. Made the adjustment. Hey, you know, you only have 10 frames. She didn't like what she had there the first 4. You have to take a guess. Can't wait till the last frame. Game's over by then.
Tune in next Monday for the Burlington Open from Country Club Lanes West in Burlington, North Carolina. Final round action begins at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's right here on ESPN2. There's a look at the score right now. Marianne Dirupo trailing by 37 pins. Leanne Barrette has it under control. At least it looks that way. Marianne really must strike here.
There she goes. And she's happy, lifting her hands in the air. Well, consider she's working on her patience. She'll take this week as another positive. Go right on to next week and hopefully add another TV show to her list. Good shot by Marianne. Got it further right. And she's very happy with that. Says, I finally carried one.
Leanne Barrette now working on a strike. Still up by 36. She can pretty much close the door here if she strikes again.
Leanne this year cashing in every event. Well, that pretty much sums up the tournament.
It sure does. Leanne Barrette already had won twice. This will make it 37. And yes, I'm going out on that limb now and predicting Leanne's going to win this event.
Title 26, you know, just another one, another trophy to add to the collection.
She's made 6 of the last 7 telecasts. What a run. Since 99, she has made the top 24 88.1% of the time.
Leanne said she wanted to say hi to her nephews Cooper and Austin, and they have a new baby sister, Sophie.
They do.
Yes, and Mom Sean is doing fine. Leanne was there for the birth. She got there that morning, and or I should say, yeah, early that morning. And later that day, she had a niece, so it was very nice.
It was a good break for Leanne. She came back fresh. Leanne, very, very fond of children, and they respond well to her. Covers up that spare, so Leanne Barrette makes it 3-1 from the top seed this year and wins her 3rd title of the year. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
Gonna get there.
Bank, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN, Tuesday.
The championship round finals of the Three Rivers Open are being brought to you by the Women's International Bowling Congress, striving for 87 years to identify and fulfill the needs of women bowlers. By Travelodge Hotels, proud to be the official lodging sponsor of the Professional Women's Bowling Association, and by PWBA.com, relaunched to bring you more advanced and accessible news and information. Final score of the championship match of the Three Rivers Open, Leanne Barrette 225 to Marianne Dirupo's 166, and there is your champion, Leanne Barrette. And as a special treat, we have the 2002 Pennsylvania State Female Bowler of the Year, Jody Sobolowskis, here to present the check.
Leanne, I'd like to congratulate you this week on your great bowling, and from Princess Lanes, here's your check.
Thank you, Jody.
You're welcome.
That was very
Good luck.
Thank you.
And we hope to see her on tour assignment time in the future. And in comes the general manager of Princess Lanes, John Jones.
Leanne, congratulations. You had an excellent tournament. You went into match play and you never looked back, and you tore everybody up. And we are so proud to have you as our champion here at Princess Lanes in the Three Rivers Open. And 3 is good because this is your 3rd win for this year. So congratulations.
I'd like to thank John and everyone here at Princess Lanes. This is our 11th year. I believe it's our longest running tournament, and it's one of our best ones. I'd also like to thank Travelodge and WIBC and my ball company, Ebonite, for making the best bowling balls. And thank everybody for coming tonight. Thanks.
So congratulations to Leanne Barrette as she wins her 3rd title of the year and her 26th career title, placing her 3rd on the all-time list. Join us next Monday for the inaugural Burlington Open at 10 p.m. Eastern. For Carolyn Dorn-Ballard, I'm Jan Schmidt. We'll see you next week. Stay safe. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.